Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. Frazee Family Foods. What a hometown grocery store should be. Friendly staff, family-owned, and a wide variety of groceries to fulfill your needs. The City of Frazee and Frazee Event Center, featuring a 5,000 square foot room, a built-in stage, and a full-service bar. Perfect for a multitude of events. Call or click to book your event.
Welcome to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ledke, and I'm here today with Jerry Hanson. Hi, Jerry.
Hi there. Good to have you here.
And you're the new student support coordinator, and you're going to actually have to kind of tell me what that is, Jerry.
Well, Hank, this is my second day on the job, so we're still figuring that out. But basically, I'm here to support success for kids, for staff, for parents, for anybody. And so that's basically what I've done. And as I've talked to some kids, I've said, hey, if you're having a problem with anything, come and see me. So, I'll do a lot of different things, but just to support everybody and build on success, try to make everybody a little more successful today than they were yesterday.
Well, and Jerry, when Kitty sent me a message that I'd be interviewing you, I was not expecting somebody of your age, and I shouldn't ask you this, but how old are you?
I'm very experienced. I am 66. I've retired. I've failed retirement, Hank. This is my. I've retired 3 different times. I worked I retired from Detroit Lakes Schools District in 2011, and then I went up to Fargo for 6 years because I still had some energy and. Was in an elementary school, a big elementary school in Fargo. Retired in 2017. Then I kind of did quite a few things. And 2 years ago, during the COVID time, Perham School, where I had worked, called me to do a long-term sub in 6th grade. So I taught 6th grade most of the year. And last year, the Monday before school started, a district down by the city's called, and their principal had just left, said, I can't deal with this anymore. And so I spent the last year as an elementary principal down in the district there. So retirement, I heard somebody the other day say, you don't retire, you refire. So I think I'm just refired up and ready to go. So.
Well, and I know that myself, and I'm 7 years older than you are. So, but I mean, it's person needs to do something.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that can use what knowledge we still remember and need sounding boards every once in a while on what's going on.
Right. Yeah, I think that's exactly it. This is, I think I tried to count up the other day, and I'm over 40 years in education. So I've learned a lot of things, and as we do, we learn them the hard way sometimes. And so, I've got some things to share with staff and with kids, whatnot. And so I think that's why I enjoy. My wife just yesterday said, what's wrong with you? And I said, why? She said, you're just happy all the time now. She said, you really like your new job, don't you? And I said, yeah, I like connecting with kids. I like connecting with staff and relationships and building and that. So.
Well, and I can see that in your face when we first met you. You got the sparkly eyes and a smile.
Yeah, well, that's what we need. It's been a couple tough years here in education, and so that's more than anything. What we need is the smiles and fist pumping kids and people, and just to make them feel good about what we're doing.
Well, and that's a big thing, I mean, like you said, it's been a couple rough years. The kids haven't been able to interact with one another, and that makes it rough, especially for the little ones coming up that are starting school. And I have a granddaughter that is in kindergarten now, and that's the only granddaughter I have, and there's just one kid in the family, and the dog, so she's all excited about meeting all these other kids now.
Right. Well, and that's true, and as kids start coming to school, they have to learn how to meld in with everybody and that they're not the most important one because there might be 20 other kids in that class and they have to take turns in that. So it's all part of life. It's all part of learning. And someone told me once that, with the 5-year-olds, if they do something that you don't like, just remember they've only been on this earth 5 years. They don't have it figured out yet. And I think I said to them, well, I've been on this year 65, 66 years. And I don't have it all figured out. And so we all got to be in this together and help each other.
And I see you got a UM flag on the wall there.
I do. I've got kind of a split loyalty because I follow the NDSU Bison real close. I had a granddaughter who was a cheerleader there, so we've been down to Frisco many times. But I'm also a big U fan and a big fan of PJ Fleck. So roll the boat. Keep it going.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to, since you're just starting out, to be on our TV3 program. And I hope that we can interview you again in the future, Jerry, as you get situated here. And if you need us for anything, give us a holler. Just call city office. They can always find me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being here, and I appreciate it. And I love being here and love the role that I get to play. It's fun.
Welcome aboard.
Hey, thank you.
And with that, we'll be right back with another segment of Spotlight on Frazee. Welcome back to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ledke, and I'm up here at the Frazee High School with Andy Paulson. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Hank. How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. I didn't fall down coming across the parking lot or anything.
That's good. Always glad you can make it.
Yeah, and so here we have robotics going on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this over to Andy and kind of let him explain what they're up to with this contraption that's behind me with all these chains and gears and servers and everything else. Here you go, sir.
Thanks, Hank. Once again, we deal with the first robotics competition in January. In the beginning of January, we're introduced a game. We get 6 weeks to build our robot. We design it, program, test, build, rebuild. Usually we break something, we have to try to fix it. At the end of that time, we go to one of many different competitions. We actually just got back from our competition this last weekend. We were in Grand Forks with 60 other teams, anywhere from Minnesota teams, North Dakota, South Dakota, Colorado, and Wisconsin. We're all represented. We did fairly well. We placed in the top 10. We were number 7 going into the elimination rounds. We had some trouble that happened. We ended up getting beat in 2 of our 3 last final matches. It was very close. There were some penalty points that happened. When you compete, you are 3-on-3. You get randomly paired with 2 other robots from other schools, and sometimes you're at the mercy of what they can do or what they do that hurts you too. So that kind of hurt our chances. We did fairly well though, ending in the top 7. So what I'm going to do now is talk a little bit about our robot. The game this year is called Infinite Recharge, and these yellow balls here are called power cells. The power cells are designed to be brought into your robot and then put into one of 3 goals. There's a goal that's low to the ground that's worth 1 point. There's a goal that's high to the ground that's worth 2 points. And there is a smaller goal that's up in the air that's worth 3 points. Now, your robot is able to carry up to 5 of these game pieces at a time. So what we did is we designed an intake system so that when we would drive into these balls, they'll come into our robot and fall into our hopper. So when we have the balls, they would fall in and fall into place here. After the robot would be working, the balls will go up the chute, up into the top, and go into the shooter, all the way up to the top of the robot, so that we would have a tall shooter, and then when the ball comes around here, it'll shoot into the high goals. Okay, so we had an ultimate goal of making them into the 3-point goal so we get the most point value at the end. We were one of the best scoring robots at the competition, so we did really well in that regard. At the end of the match, robots are able to climb a hanger. So this elevator here is designed so that when this is spinning and it backs up, that will raise up all the way up to the height that we need it to be, and then it would grab onto the bar, and then when we pull it back down, it would lift our robot up off the floor. We were one of the best climbers there, and we had a great climbing robot that caused us, it earned us a lot of points and put us in a high ranking place. In the elimination rounds, we paired together with 2 robots from around the state. We picked a team. We picked a team that helped us out scoring from the metro area. They were a very good scoring robot. And then we picked actually the Perham Robotics team to be on our alliance as well, because they were a very good defending team. It turned out that we ended up going against the number 2 captain, and they were the Colorado team. They were a very, very solid team, and our defense wasn't quite enough to stop them from scoring as many points as they could, so they ended up winning in our elimination rounds. In addition to the robot at the competition, they have various awards that they give. We won an award called the Creativity Award. The Creativity Award is given for a robot that has a design attribute that is outstanding compared to other robots. And we won that for our climb because our climber was such a good climbing machine. And we climbed every match and we had no problem doing that. We're currently working on fixing some things. This intake isn't the intake that we had on our final robot, so we're working on trying to fix that right now, and we'll compete again in the end of the month.
Thanks, Andy. You know, it's always interesting to see what's going on and how great the robotics has progressed and what a great thing it's becoming across the country. So, you know, always a pleasure to have you on the program, sir.
Thanks, Hank. I appreciate it.
And remember, pet the dog, hug the kids, kiss the wife, and wave at the neighbor. Next person you wave at could be your next best friend. With that, we'll catch you next week on Spotlight on Frazee.